Cruella is a story about a girl named Estella who grows up to be seen as a villain. When the movie, Cruella, starts, it tells us about her life from when she was a little girl. Estella was born with very unique hair. It was half black and half white. Because of her hair, people thought she was odd and didn't really want to be around her. She only had her mom, who took care of her by herself. When it was time for Estella to go to school, her mom told her to try to be nice and not to let her mean side show. Estella had a tough time at school. She was not just different because of her hair, but also because she could be very mean at times and very nice at other times. Her mom wanted her to be good and not fight, but Estella often ended up fighting at school. Estella had only two friends, her dog and a classmate who used to study with her. But because Estella kept fighting every day at school, she got kicked out. So, her mother decided to take her to London. Estella always dreamed of becoming a fashion designer, and she thought London could make her dream come true. In London, Estella's mother took her to an old friend who might help them. They went to a huge palace surrounded by the sea and towering high above the ground. Estella's mother gave her some precious lockets and warned her sternly not to leave the car. But Estella wasn't one to listen to warnings. Estella disobeyed her mother's warning and went inside the palace, where a fashion show was happening. 3 dogs started following her, which frightened her. She ran out, fearing they might harm her, but tragically, they attacked her mother instead. While her mother was talking to someone, the dogs caused her to fall into a pit, and she died instantly. Estella blamed herself deeply for what happened. Feeling guilty and devastated, Estella fled the scene as an investigation began. In her haste, she dropped the locket her mother had given her. She regretted not listening to her mother's advice, feeling that if she had stayed in the car, her mother might still be alive. Estella ended up jumping into a garbage truck and found herself in London, where she encountered 2 young boys who seemed to be in a similar situation as her, without a place to live. Seeing their shared circumstance, the boys welcomed Estella into their makeshift home. To blend in better and avoid standing out, Estella started dyeing her hair different colors, just like other girls. Eventually, this became a regular practice for her. The story then jumps ahead by 10 years, showing that the trio has grown up and become skilled thieves, professionals at their craft. While the boys engaged in minor thefts like picking pockets, Estella utilized her talent for designing clothes to create special outfits for their heists. She became exceptionally skilled in this, making them nearly unbeatable in their criminal endeavors. Estella always dreamed of working at Liberty in London, where famous fashion designers worked. Her friend surprised her with a job there for her birthday, but to Estella's disappointment, it wasn't as a fashion designer. Instead, she was hired as a maid, cleaning bathrooms and mopping floors. Estella felt frustrated and tired of her job. Whenever she asked her boss for a chance to prove herself as a designer, he ignored her. One night, she had to work late and clean the entire building. Feeling upset and overwhelmed, she found a bottle of liquor in her boss's room and started drinking. She became so drunk that she didn't know what she was doing. In her intoxicated state, Estella wrote something on the window outside and decorated a mannequin according to her own style. The next morning, a crowd gathered outside because Estella had fallen asleep there after her drunken escapade. When her boss found out, he was furious and almost fired her. However, the renowned fashion designer Baroness arrived and was impressed by Estella's decorated mannequin. She hired Estella on the spot, praising her talent for display design. Estella started working for Baroness and quickly gained her approval. She excelled in her job and soon became Baroness's special worker. One day, Estella noticed Baroness hiding her jewelry in a secret compartment, which intrigued her. Everything seemed to be going well for Estella. She was finally living her dream of working in the fashion industry, and she was very happy with her job. One day, Estella saw a locket that Baroness was wearing. She realized it was the same locket her mom had given her before she died, the one she lost the night her mom died. When Estella asked Baroness about it, Baroness said it was hers, but had been stolen by a woman years ago, implying Estella's mom was a thief. This made Estella very angry, and she decided she needed to get the locket back. Estella told her friends everything, and they made a plan to steal the locket back during a party when Baroness would be busy. One friend took care of the security cameras, another went to where the locket was kept, and Estella went to the party. At the party, everyone wore black and white, but Estella stood out because she embraced her unique look and came as her true self. Estella wore a stunning red gown to the party, looking beautiful and aiming to draw attention to herself. She also wore a mask to hide her identity from Baroness. However, Estella was surprised to see that Baroness was wearing the locket around her neck, meaning it wasn't in the safe as they thought. Baroness didn't recognize Estella, who had come in the guise of Cruella, embodying the bold and ruthless persona her mother warned her to avoid. At the party, Baroness became jealous of Estella's attention, as everyone admired her instead. This upset Baroness, especially since it was her own party. During the chaos, one of Estella's friends brought a dish full of rats and placed them in front of Baroness. causing her to scream and creating further commotion at the party. While everyone was distracted by the chaos with the rats at the party, Estella quickly took the locket from Baroness's neck and threw it to her dog. But then, Baroness whistled, calling over the same 3 dogs that had chased Estella in the past, leading to her mother's death. One of these dogs grabbed the locket from Estella's dog and ate it. In that moment, Estella realized those were the same dogs from before, and Baroness was the one who had whistled back then. She figured out that Baroness was actually responsible for her mother's death. Estella went back and told her friends everything, deciding it was time for revenge against Baroness. Feeling betrayed and angry, Estella chose to embrace her darker side, believing that being nice hadn't gotten her anywhere. She transformed into Cruella, a bolder and more vengeful persona. As Cruella, she then went to see an old friend who had become a journalist. She had noticed this friend at the party, and he had recognized her too. Cruella told her journalist friend that she planned to do something big. She then organized a daring plan with her friends to kidnap Baroness's dogs and also invited a famous fashion designer to her place. Cruella, who was still working at Baroness's office as Estella, kept her innocent look there to keep an eye on Baroness. At the same time, Cruella made dramatic entrances at Baroness's fashion shows, stealing all the attention from Baroness and her designs. This frustrated Baroness a lot. Baroness got so annoyed with Cruella's antics that she thought about taking her to court. She even tried to find out where Cruella was hiding by asking her friend, but she couldn't find any information. Meanwhile, Estella, as Cruella, was planning something big for the next fashion event. She designed a stunning gown and ordered special shells from South America to make it even more spectacular. Estella made a very pretty gown using special shells, but Cruella, who is also Estella, was worried Baroness might steal her design ideas because Baroness had locked all her own gowns in a big safe. So, Cruella came up with a plan and even joked with her friend about making a coat from the skins of the dogs she had kidnapped from Baroness. On the day of Baroness's fashion show, when Baroness opened her safe, lots of flies came out because the shells Estella used were actually fly eggs. The flies caused chaos, and everyone left Baroness's show to go outside. Meanwhile, Estella, dressed as Cruella, was having her own fashion show somewhere else. Baroness figured out that Estella was Cruella and thought Cruella had killed her dogs to make a coat. After her show, when Estella got home, she found her friends tied up by Baroness's men. Baroness's men also tied up Estella, set their house on fire, and took the dogs away, proving that Estella hadn't harmed the dogs at all. Estella thought she was gone, but the next day, she woke up at Baroness's house. A man working for Baroness gave her tea and told her a big secret. He said that Baroness is Estella's real mom. Baroness is not nice, she's crazy and even wanted Estella gone when she was a baby. Instead of hurting Estella, the man had given her to a maid to raise. Estella's dad had left all his things to Estella before he passed away. Estella felt really sad after hearing this. The first thing Estella wanted to do was help her real family, her friends, get out of trouble. They were in jail because Baroness lied, saying they were part of Estella's fake murder. Estella and her friends started to make a plan to fix everything. Estella sent the same special clothes to all the guests of Baroness's party. Meanwhile, Baroness found out Estella was still around and was getting ready for her. The party was at the big palace, the same place where Baroness had done something very bad to Estella's stepmom, who was actually trying to get some money from Baroness to take care of Estella. Now, at this party, everyone showed up wearing the matching outfits that Estella had sent to their homes. At the party, everyone wore wigs like Estella, making it hard for Baroness to spot her. Suddenly, Baroness's dogs ran outside, and Estella was there with a whistle, just like Baroness used to have. The dogs came to Estella's call. Estella then told her whole story to Baroness, who first seemed sad and hugged her. But suddenly, Baroness pushed Estella down. However, all the guests saw this, as Estella's friend had brought them out. Baroness was caught by the police for killing her daughter. Estella's life wasn't over yet though. The suit she was wearing had a parachute, which opened before she hit the ground, saving her life. From then on, Estella lived as Cruella. Her mother got justice, making Estella very happy. She started living her life happily, and with that, the story of the film came to an end.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe for more fun videos.